I have a theory that in order to be a creative type, you have to be inwardly or inside, you have to be a very emotional and sensitive person. Now, this doesn't mean that in order to make art, you need to be a crybaby who has a mental breakdown at the drop of a hat over any tough or sad situation. What it means is that you have to be very in tune and locked in to your feelings and understanding what is it that's actually causing your feelings. Now, what do I mean by any of this? What am I talking about right now? I'm not saying that artists are people who openly freak out at people, yell at people, and are generally explosive with their emotions because that's just how it is, man. In order to, make this SoundCloud rap beat, I have to beat my girlfriend. That's actually just how it is. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that in order to create art, or any sort of creative pursuit, in order to create something that really touches and connects with someone, you have to have some sort of understanding of human emotions, because that's fundamentally how we connect with other people. The ways that we connect with people are through things like we tell someone a story, or we write someone a really nice letter, or we write a poem for someone, or we make a little arts and crafts thing, or we have a nice photo, or we give them a cool mixtape or something like that. Those are ways that we connect with people. And all of those are rooted in an understanding of how people's emotions work. In other words, you can say that to be an artist or to be a successful creative person who touches a lot of people, you kind of have to be an empath in a way. You kind of have to understand what is it that drives people? What is it that turns their gears? And you have to be able to target that. Now, a lot of people like to say that in order to be creative, you kind of have to be depressed, or you have to be anxious, or you have to have something wrong with you in order to make anything that's good. And I don't necessarily think that's true. You can probably feel those ways on the inside or not feel those ways, but ultimately, I think what really matters is understanding how you react to things and being able to immerse yourself in those emotions, but not in a destructive way. Because obviously, like I said earlier, you can immerse yourself in like anger that you feel in an emotion. But if you immerse yourself in anger and then you also take it out, then you're just going to be an angry person who just explodes on people, and no one's going to want to be around you, and you're not going to be able to make it in society because you can't connect with anyone on like a bare minimum level. But if you're able to feel an emotion of anger, immerse yourself in it, and control how you express that, then that's where you can really utilize it to your maximum potential. I remember watching a David Lynch interview where he talks about transcendental meditation. I have no idea what that is. I don't actually know how to do it. I'm not really that interested in learning how to do it, but without knowing anything about it, I'm about to talk about it. And I think the whole point, probably, of transcendental meditation is being able to deeply dive into your subconscious and all of your feelings and kind of swimming around in that space and being able to extract from that the most important and most relevant parts of it. I think the best pieces of art, whether it be literature, movies, or music, or anything like that, are the ones that can capture in its most essential form some sort of fundamental experience or feeling that we all share. So for example, you can listen to like a Linkin Park song, and the reason why Linkin Park is like one of the top emo nu metal bands ever is because when you listen to a song like Numb or In the End or Crawling, the way that they express it through the lyrics, through the sound, it feels like the captured essence of like edgy moodiness of a teenager. And that's what makes it so goddamn great, is that they were able to capture that essence. And if what I'm making doesn't make sense right now, just think of the last time that you watched like a TikTok or an Instagram reel of some sort of like compilation of videos, and you had some sort of either a meme song or an actual cool song like overlaid on it. Like you can think of like the Pine Grove Need To song trend, where it's like that guy who's like kind of like dancing out, waving his arms around, and it's because that guitar just perfectly captures that feeling of like not really freedom, but just kind of like, flailing around. It captures that emotional essence. So I think in order to be able to do things like that consistently, to create things like that that touch people and capture such a fundamental experience so well, you have to be in tune with your emotions to some extent. Maybe you can get lucky and you can do it like once or twice, you know, you can be a one-hit wonder type beat. But if you want to make a movie like Charlie Kaufman is my favorite director, so if you want to make a movie like a Synecdoche, New York, or an adaptation or something like that, you have to have you have to be very feeling, very sensitive, very emotional inside as a person. And you have to kind of understand how that works so you can extract the essence of it and you can communicate it in some sort of creative medium that you can show others and they can connect with it as well and they can gain some sort of value from it. So don't be an emotional, crying, angry, joyous, depressed wreck, but feel the emotions of what an emotional, angry, depressed, happy, joyful, crying wreck would feel, and then output all of that into some sort of creative project, basically. And that's the key. That's the recipe. That's how you do it.